I think so. Yeah, absolutely. And I think there was a lot of great questions asked, and I think there was some understanding achieved among legislators and interns. And so just being able to appreciate where somebody's coming from, makes a world of difference. And I'm grateful that our Chief of Staff, Rick Cantrell, put this thing together so that we could have some dialogue. And I don't think there's anybody leaving this room tonight that doesn't have a better understanding and will be more sensitive to how we communicate about the LGBT community.
Who was in attendance? I know that the LGBT leaders were here. How many legislators were here tonight?
I think we had 5 legislators here, House and Senate members, and we had probably about a dozen interns.
Representative Anderegg, was he represented here tonight?
He was here.
Great. And tell me how this is going to affect what you believe will happen going forward then.
Well, I think that the dialogue is important for us to understand. I think there's a lot more that needs to be understood, and I know there's some question about, well, are we going to be able to address the non-discrimination bill this session? There needs to be more definition about what's happening in our appeal process with the marriage issue. That actually is an important issue to settle so that we can navigate religious liberties and anti-discrimination properly as a legislature, because whatever we do here is going to be a long-term policy, and it's important that we have good context and good information so that we don't do something that is going to be short-term. It's something that's going to be established and be good policy for all people in Utah for a long time.
Is that outline that you've just given us here, is that the reason why the public should know that SB 100 may be on hold for a while?
Yes, absolutely. That has not been solidified, but I think that as the House and Senate come together in the next few days, we'll be able to give you more of a definitive answer to that. My sense is that, yes, that we're going to put a hold on the religious liberties and the anti-discrimination bill while we try to navigate the appeal to the 10th Circuit and probably to the Supreme Court.
Judicial process. Now, lastly, you said that there was more to be done. You felt that there was more to be done in terms of the sensitivity of the body or of the people that were involved here tonight. Tell me just a little bit more about that.
Well, I think this highlights the need for all of us to just have some interaction so that we have some personal understanding about the LGBT community. But it is a two-way street. We need to all understand one another, and this is the kind of dialogue that's important to that.
I think it was a lot of opening minds to new concepts and understanding the trans community in a new way. A lot of the terms that we discussed had not been discussed with these interns before, and some of the representatives and senators that were here. We spoke very candidly, very openly, answered some questions that I think had been burning in a lot of minds, and I think that more understanding was brought forth because of this meeting and the need for more education about the trans community.
What, if anything, surprised you about tonight's meeting?
I think the number of people in attendance, I was very pleased. The room was filled, and that encourages me that there is more people on the Hill that want this education and want to learn more about the community.
Was it this room here?
Yes.
Awesome, yes. Awesome. Lastly, if you have any other thoughts as to the process going forward, Senator Niederhauser, President Niederhauser, said that he thought there was still a lot more to be done. What's your feeling about that?
I absolutely agree. I think primarily not only education about the trans community, but in general, non-discrimination for all of LGBT individuals across the state. I think learning that, we are one human family, that we have respect to give one another, and part of that is making sure that we take care of each other, and part of that is labeled in the non-discrimination bills.
How much of the conflict do you think is a result of the confusion of the dominant culture versus the doctrine that prevails here, specifically among the LDS community?
Mm-hmm. I think that there is room for both in the conversation. We have many in the trans community that also have a spiritual home in the LDS church. They have a spiritual home. That's where their families are from. And I think a lot of those families come from a place of love. And that's what their religion is bringing to them, is that you love your family. And so I think if we come from that place, a place of love and understanding, and I think that there's a common ground to be had.
Very well. And in the future, what will your organization specifically plan in terms of activist-type role here at the legislature? Because we've got a few more days to go.
Sure. We're already in talks right now to do intern training for the next session, to make sure as they're going into their session that they are familiar with the terms and the situations around the trans community specifically. I know that Equality Utah and T of Utah work together to do education throughout the state, and particularly with our lawmakers. We look forward to doing that with more lawmakers. I know that they're really busy right now. There's a lot on their plates, and we are here for them. So we hope to reach out to the different individuals and provide more training and more education, maybe in their off time.
This being base budget week, was there any consideration given to the LGBT community or your organization about funding for any specific projects along the lines you've just described?
Right now, T of Utah is mostly privately funded. We have some major projects that we are doing. We're actually doing a training video for the driver's license division to help them navigate working with the trans community in a more respectful manner. And so we're looking forward to the production of that coming up in the next year. And I don't think it's very far off that there will be some budget considerations for the work that we do.
I think tonight was actually a wonderful opportunity for some understanding and to really begin to get a sense of the full diversity of Utah and what Utahns look like.
It was previously stated that the room was packed. Did that surprise you?
It didn't surprise me, it actually delighted me. I think, again, it was a wonderful opportunity for people who maybe at the beginning thought we were on opposite sides, really came together and had an honest, genuine conversation about how we together can make Utah better.
How do you proceed? How do you perceive that you'll be, and your organization will be going forward now, given what happened here tonight?
Well, I think, honestly, the conversation tonight made the work that we do immensely easier, because I think we have a much greater baseline of understanding about each other's humanity and about each other's intentions and ways to talk to each other in a more effective way. I think in many ways what happened here tonight in this room was, well, I don't want to overuse the term, but in some ways historic. I can't imagine having the invitation to come and sit with interns and sitting legislators before this year and have a conversation about what it means to be transgender in the state of Utah.
So do we understand then that even though the public understands that SB 100 may be at 45,000 feet and holding, that you still feel that there's been progress given to the afforded to the LGBT community here?
I think there's been progress afforded to the entire community of Utah. I think we all benefit when we come to a place of empathy, when we come to a place of greater understanding, and I think tonight was beneficial for all.